What's up everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So first I'm starting off with the chest. I'm taking my NYX SFX cream colours. You can literally use whatever paint you have. It can be water based or oil based, and I'm just beginning by creating the outline shape of the rose. I will link all the products in the description box below so you can go check out exactly what I used. So I'm just kind of creating like wavy lines that kind of go in a circular shape, and I'm using some reference images to help me here. And I tried to go for a style that wasn't too realistic and wasn't too cartoon at the same time. So once I got the basic skeleton of the rose down, I then went in and created some lines on the inner parts of each petal. So before worrying about any other details on the rose, I moved on to the other flowers. So now I'm creating a sunflower. Taking some yellow, I'm creating leaf looking like shapes, and then I went in with some brown and I just used my finger and I just created the circular part in the middle of the sunflower. So really what I'm just doing is just creating the basic shapes of the flowers, and I'm not worrying about any details just yet. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and filled in another flower in white. And then I'm taking some red and white and I'm kind of putting both on my brush at the same time, and then I'm creating these kind of droplet shapes. And this is the beauty of SFX cream colours, is you can kind of mix them while painting and they create a really nice soft blend within each other. Now I'm doing kind of the same thing but with blue and smaller flowers. I honestly cannot tell you the names of these flowers, I have no idea. But they look really pretty, so why does it matter? So when I want two colours to blend but not blend too much, then I think it's absolutely great when you put two colours on one brush, specifically white and something else, and when you glide it on your skin it creates this really nice blended finish, but not too blended, if that makes sense. And I think this is absolutely perfect for creating petals, especially when you paint in the direction of the petals. I'm going to continue this flow all the way down onto my arm, so I'm creating another sunflower, same as before. And then taking some yellow and red, I'm using exactly the same techniques again. So I'm just outlining the shape of the flower, and the petals are going to be slightly pointy on this one. And then I'm just going in with both colours and I'm just painting them on until they blend nicely within each other. And then on the bottom of my arm, I'm just actually repeating myself with the rose, except from I'm using red. So you just want to play around and just mess around with the types of flowers, different shapes, colours and sizes. The possibilities are endless, just go crazy. You can literally paint them anywhere. I mean, you can paint them on your butt cheeks, that's absolutely fine. I mean, who's stopping you? The only person that's stopping you is you. If you look at my elbow, I mean, what a sexy elbow, right? Have you noticed that as soon as you put the white on top of like a colour, it just really brings out a lot of detail, it creates a slight bit of realism and just completely transforms the entire look. And I just think it's amazing how the tiniest adjustments you make actually creates the biggest differences. But I'm just painting random green lines here and there just to create grass. And then once you've finally got the basic shape down, you then want to take some setting powder. I'm using the NYX SFX set for this, and you just literally want to set the whole thing. I mean, this is just going to help me in my next step. You don't actually have to do this if you don't want to. I just think it's easier for when I add the next details, as they won't blend into each other as much. And of course, if you're using water-based paints, then this does not apply to you. So now I'm just starting to create a little bit more detail, and I'm going back in with some white and I'm just adding this to the empty areas of the rose. So as you can see, I'm applying the white on the outer edges of each petal. Just try and imagine where the light is going to hit and where the shadow would be. So the deeper areas, you want that to be pink, and on the edges you want it to be white. I'm then adding highlights to the sunflower, mainly on the outer edges, kind of similar to what I did with the rose. And then I'm also beginning to introduce some eyeshadows now, and I'm taking some black eyeshadow and a fine brush and I'm starting to create some shadows. I'm creating slight bits of shadows on the inside and the middle of the petals. I'm going in with some brown eyeshadow and I'm just starting to create some lines and texture in the white shape that I created earlier. And then just generally starting to shade where the shadow would hit in the other flowers as well. You want to use more than just black, you want to use a mixture like browns, maybe some deep reds or pinks, you know, just don't overdo the black because that can ruin the look as well and make it look a little bit too flat and heavily shaded really. So just take your time and build it up very slowly. Okay, so moving on, I'm taking a black face paint and this time it's water based and I'm just literally outlining the sunflower. And I'm using water based just because I think it's easier to create finer lines with it, and that's kind of the reason why I set it earlier, because the water based paint will sit better. And then I'm going in with some SFX cream colours in both black and white, and I'm using the opposite end of a brush and I'm just going ahead and just dabbing that away to create the inside texture of a sunflower. Taking the black again, I'm just creating some creases in the inner parts of the petals. Now that I watch back and look at it, I do think I have made the lines too thick. Should have used a finer brush, but it still looks fine. But I just think it would look better if they were a bit thinner on the inner parts of the petals. And then I'm just going to basically continue the same thing all throughout, so just outlining the flowers. Now taking some white, you want to go ahead and start creating highlights as well. It's literally just white lines on the edges or the raised areas of the flowers. And this step really does make the look pop and creates a lot more dimension and life to the piece. I'm making these lines really pure and defined because it has a little bit of a cartoon feel to it. And then just continue shading and highlighting all throughout. Now let's bring the whole piece out, shall we? So what we're going to do is take some black and brown eyeshadow and we're going to start shading around the flowers and mainly underneath. I think it just looks so much better when you do this. So using a black eyeshadow and a finer brush, I'm just shading this closer to the edges, and I'm taking the brown and I'm using a slightly larger brush and I'm just shading a bit more of a wide area. Just to make the piece a little bit more interesting. Sometimes I feel like the smallest details can really change the look. I've just gone ahead and used the brush and I've created vertical shadow as well from the flowers. Finally, to top it off, I'm taking some white and I'm putting this on the end of my brush and I'm just creating dots around the grassy areas. Moving on to the face, so I'm just taking my usual foundation and I'm just literally applying this all over, and I'm going to be worrying about contour and highlight later. And I probably should have done this first, but I didn't actually know what I was doing, but I've taken a glue stick and I'm just literally going to hide those brows. And I'm taking a UV green in Kryolan Aqua Colors green, and I'm just creating some rather dramatic, large and heightened brows. And then taking a black, I'm just creating a gradient ombre kind of effect from black to green. Techniques into getting them to blend nicely is use either some paint and some water and just kind of blend backwards and forwards, or you can get a small detailed brush and you can gently apply some black eyeshadow so it has a nice smooth transition. Taking the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer by NYX, I'm then going ahead and applying this underneath my eyes. I know this has been done in a bit of a strange order, but there you go, this is just the way I work. Taking the same concealer, I'm applying this underneath my brows to create some highlight and also sharpen them up. And of course, blend, blend, blend. Next, moving on to the eyes, I'm now priming them and I'm taking the NYX Ultimate Brights eyeshadow palette for this and I'm starting to create some crazy colours. So I'm literally just taking some colours and I'm packing them on sort of randomly. For the left eye, I've gone for a bit more of a warmer look, using some pinks, reds, yellows and oranges. And I'm just going to blend them together, but not too much because I wanted it to kind of be really random. I'm thinking about where I'm placing the colours. So the deeper colours, such as the deep red, you want to place on the creases of your eyes. And for the brighter colours, such as the yellow, you want to apply on the outer edges. As you can see, I'm making this big and dramatic and extending it really far, and I've also even extended it to underneath my eyes as well. I've applied a blue to give it some contrast in between the warm and the cold colours. As you can see, I've also applied a bit of glitter on the inner part of my eye, kind of to set the primer and to give it a bit of glam. For the other side, I've used completely different colours, and you just want to do the same and pack it on. And then for the underneath of the eye, I've chosen purple. Taking some eyeliner for underneath your eyes, I'm using the NYX False Blacks. You want to go ahead and just apply this on your waterline. You can use black as well, that would work absolutely fine. Then I'm taking some eyeliner and I'm just going to create some big dramatic wings. Then taking the NYX white eyeliner, I'm applying this on the eyeshadow areas to create a cut crease. I'm creating fairly large wings on the inner corners of my eyes as well. And then I'm creating a second line above my wings. Whoa, oosh! And then finally you want to apply some lashes. Honestly, if I had some bigger lashes, I'd definitely go for some bigger, longer ones. But unfortunately, these are all I had. And just as you thought you couldn't make this any more dramatic, I've gone ahead and taken some individual lashes and applied this underneath as well. In all honesty, I am not the queen of contour and general beauty looks, but I'm just literally taking a NYX 3 Steps to Sculpt and I'm applying this on my jawline, my cheekbones and my forehead and nose as well. And then I'm taking some highlighter and I'm applying this to the upper areas of my cheekbones to make them really pop. And I'm doing this really heavy deliberately because I wanted to create, again, a dramatic feel. I wouldn't really normally go this heavy if I was just going on a normal day out. And I'm not actually blending too much either. Like, as you can see on my jawline, it's a really obvious heavy line, and that's the look that I was going for. So basically what I'm doing is just really chiseling my face as much as I possibly can. Next, moving on to the lips. Don't worry, I'll put the exact colours in the description box below, but I'm taking the NYX Suede lip liner and lipstick and I'm going to fill my lips in. It's up to you how you want to do it, everyone's different. I like to outline first, just so I can get the edges perfect and create the shape that I wanted. And of course for this look I wanted everything to be extra, so I decided to really overline my lips a lot. Almost to the point where it was very obvious to tell, but again this was the look that I was going for. I'd just like to mention that for the outline I used a deeper red, and for the inner areas that are filled in I used a red that is bright and bold, and this is because I wanted to kind of contour the lips a little bit. So I found these butterflies in a shop in a garden section, which I was really happy to find. I thought they were absolutely perfect. I took some latex and I used the latex by Meron and I just went ahead and applied them onto the flowers and my shoulders. And that is everything. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I really hoped you found it helpful and that you enjoyed it. If you ever recreate my looks, don't forget to tag me on Instagram at GothSpectrum, and also if you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the like button and comment down below and let me know what you think. Thank you once again and I'll see you later.